Yeah, things are going pretty badly. Not just for the military, but yeah, for the entire United States, maybe. It's hard to tell what's going to happen after all this, but I've already posited a few theories. Hi, I'm Blasphemous, and welcome back to Black Mesa. But enough about all this depression. Time for some action.
40%.
Yeah, in the original, like the original Half-Life, the Gargantua actually popped through a door and flattened some Marines with a car. I should probably have gotten a shot of that. That's actually pretty fun. Yeah, as the map shows, doing airstrikes is pretty simple, really. You just mark a location and, well, you lead the Gargantua to wherever you're firing. But you gotta be careful, though, because airstrikes can also be harmful to humans. So let's pretend that we did this correctly. Yeah, that's more like it. So, what else is there to shoot? Well, I guess, the game would naturally assume that you just pick whatever target seems to be, like, notable and just target looking. Like, I don't really see any purpose to shoot a fuel truck with a mortar, except that the fuel truck is there. But it just so happens to open the way forward, so it all works out, you know? Now, this chapter is actually called Forget About Freeman. And, well, we'll see why just now.
Not only are we way behind enemy lines, we just missed the last flight out of here. I sure hope you brought some backup, Poindexter, because we're gonna need it.
Nonsense. I am the backup.
Let's get the hell out of here.
But having access to some heavy artillery doesn't hurt every now and then.
You go on without me.
going without him. That sounds like a great idea. Change of plans.
Glad I got this old sidearm for you.
Now, if you're worried about this security guard, don't be. Like, this one, unlike all the other security guards, is actually kind of meant to die. Like, he actually has almost nothing that's interesting to say. Which is fortunate, because this little confrontation here is very easy to get him killed in. Anywho. Seems like this is a sort of familiar situation. Well, except for these weird hanging pods. What are these things? Well, I'll tell you what they are. They're traps. Except, whoever laid out these traps seems to have grossly or overestimated the usefulness of snarks. Although it does suggest that, yeah, the aliens are just as capable of setting up entrenched positions as the humans are. Albeit through unorthodox means. Like, you see all those tendrils, like, kind of leading off from the hanging sacks? Well, if we pass those, it's basically the same as tripping a trip mine. So, yeah, in that respect, the aliens have shown that they can set booby traps, and they never will again. Or at the very least, not so you'd notice. Like, forget about Freeman, seems to be a bit of an anomaly, in that it doesn't really seem to follow any sort of cohesive theme. Sort of all over the place, and incorporates all sorts of different themes to it. None of which really come together for a uniform whole. Anyway, getting back to where we were before, there was the other route, you see. I'll be so glad we can get back to things that are not vortiguns and grunts. So, this little bit here. You gotta wonder, actually, like, how did one get to the Lambda Complex before things went bad? Like, we'll see occasionally, like, pictures of rail lines where they'll show that some of the trams went out to the Lambda Labs. But I don't know, like, maybe it's like through a sealed door or something we can't access, and we're just kind of taking the extreme back way. Also, we can't go east, so we must go west. I think there's some sort of like a saying, like, go west, young man. Yeah, hold that thought. I mean, technically, Gordon Freeman, despite looking like, I don't know, somebody's uncle, like, he does, at least according to his bio, like, he's only in his early 20s. So, theoretically speaking, he would classify as a young man, although not a conventional young man. My, but that water sure looks deep and murky. Why don't we test something? You hear that? Yeah, those groans. The hive hand knows. There is an ichthyosaur in these waters. Or at least there was. Yeah, as it so happens, that is, the hive hand is a very, effective weapon against ichthyosaurs. You don't have to actually see what you're shooting at, and they home in with perfect accuracy, and ichthyosaurs aren't armored, so every shot is effective. Anywho, so here we have ourselves sort of like a miniature obstacle course, sort of like residue processing. Except unlike residue processing, this whole thing can be resolved in just a matter of seconds. And yeah, for the record, those, turning gears can kill you. They certainly can. So, take this very, very carefully. Yep. Oh, and hey, there are Marines down here? What are they up to? I'll tell you what they're up to. Bleeding. Oh boy. I think we're gonna need a series of blueprints to put these guys back together. Anyhow, after that brief interlude in a sewer for no real reason, yeah, we're already back on the surface. And you might say that this upcoming sequence is sort of like the Marines' big, swan song. It's going to be the last big confrontation we get into with them. Right after we finish scavenging. Yeah, I think we're all tired and weary. And honestly, we just kind of want to end this. Well, the end is in sight. Yeah, I wager that this is supposed to be a big war sequence where, you're supposed to, chew your way through, a couple dozen Marines or something. But actually, because of this open space and a lack of real adequate cover, it's actually pretty easy to get just cut up and completely obliterated by these guys. So actually, here's what I do. You see that open door behind them? That'll lead you out of this area. All you have to do is blow up a tank. And oh yeah, also deal with these reinforcements. Semper Fi, little guys. And there we go. The song sort of indicates that this whole sequence was meant to last a lot longer. That we were supposed to be out there, like, really, like, messing it up with the Marines, but, yeah, to be honest, there is no real need to go around killing if we don't have to. Let them deal with whatever's up top. We got our own business to take care of. What are you guys even doing down here? Oh wait, no, I answered this question already. You know, actually, like, Forget About Freeman has had a number of different set pieces sort of chopped out of it. Like, there's even a bit where you're supposed to, like, hop on board a tank and use its turret and its mounted, like, Gatling gun in order to fight off a bunch of aliens. But that doesn't happen here. I don't think that was me. Not that time. Alrighty. Blessed silence. It almost feels like Forget About Freeman was supposed to be something larger, like something grander, but for some reason, like, the whole thing just sort of became somewhat underwhelming. Maybe it was meant to be a bit of a breather after how much they, like, expanded surface tension. I don't know. Well, as it stands, we just have to find the way forward. Which is, well, if I follow the lighting. Yeah, not here. You probably already saw it. It takes me a little bit. Look at the spotlight, doofus. Not that one. Yes, this one. Believe it or not, this is actually our last obstacle for the chapter officially known as Forget About Freeman. What's coming up next is actually a bit more of a segment from the next chapter. And we'll actually see the next title card appear, even though we're going to be doing a couple more encounters, just because... Well, here's the thing. Like, I think that, if you ask me, the encounter we're about to run across is actually not that well suited towards the next chapter. Not this cargo elevator. Like, that's just, you know, sort of going back to the old homage thing. You know, one of the biggest set pieces of unforeseen consequences was a cargo elevator. And now we come to the end of the game on another cargo elevator. That's just what you call bookends. bet you really thought that something was going to happen here. But actually, the next encounter is over there. Yeah, it's your friend. And that was very nice. But I think you'll agree that... yeah. It still does feel very sort of industrial. Like we're not really in a lab. Even if we've got the, like, especially opening doors and such. No. No, like, I'll be saving the actual lab-looking stuff for the next video. Instead, we're in what appears to be sort of like a receiving area, full of cargo containers. It's very quiet. You know what that means? That's right, ninjas. Don't ask me why they're here. They just kind of appear wherever they want to. Officially, they're known as Black Ops Assassins. But you know what? In this game, there is no real explanation for their appearance. And they kind of really, like, clash with the... oh, hey, someone actually tripped those things. They really clash with the rest of the government response force thing. Like the Heku. Like, they're just your average, like, oorah Marines. I really hope that's what Marines say. But these guys... I mean, what's up with them? I was kind of just halfway joking that yeah, it's just Gordon Freeman fighting ninjas for ninjas' sake, but actually, there is an explanation for them, but considering that the next few games aren't actually going to be made by Valve, I feel that the explanation sort of comes out of somebody's rear end, if you know what I mean. Any more ninjas? Ah, there we are.
Power level is 100%.
And when you really think about it, what's with all, like, the front flips and such? Like, we didn't really see it here, but yeah, if you chase them too far in this container yard, then they'll actually, like, do big jumps over the storage containers. But just as mysteriously as they appeared, The ninjas have vanished from the story. How strange.